Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo.
So Jimmy, how is your Buddhist practice going? It's interesting. How so? Well, after I chant for a while, I do start to feel really good, like you said I would. And I've been getting a lot of really good ideas. Well, that sounds good. Why did you say it's interesting? Kind of weird, but out of the blue, all of a sudden I'm starting to have problems at work. I almost got into a fist fight a couple days ago. Ah, congratulations. Thanks a lot. No, I'm actually being serious. Here's the deal. When people start their Buddhist practice, it's not uncommon for them to sort of stir things up in their environment. And a lot of times it's negative situations, but these are opportunities in disguise. Trust me on that. Really? So what happens is when you start to practice this Buddhism, it kind of wakes up your life, and your life starts to move in the direction of your highest and best happiness. And again, when these situations come up, especially like conspicuously, like right after you started practicing, these are opportunities for you to change your life, for you to polish your character. Oh, I gotta polish my character? How do I do that? You use the strategy of the Lotus Sutra, prayer and action. Okay, well, can you give me an example? Yeah, sure. When I first started practicing, I used to have a problem with bullies. I would attract bullies, and I myself was a bully. I remember. Please don't bring up the Hot Wheels incident. Okay. So how did you change the situation? What I would do is I would chant for the happiness of the person or persons that were giving me a hard time, and then I would take action. What kind of action? Well, the most extreme example is when I got assaulted in a parking lot one night, and I had to press charges against these guys, and I ended up sending both of them to jail. But most of the time it wasn't quite so serious. I just learned to defend myself with words, and I would, usually do it with some humor. And then I started speaking up when I saw other people getting bullied as well. Okay, that sounds good. But why not just take the action? Why do you have to do the whole chanting and prayer thing? Because without the prayer, nothing changes. Like in my case, I would chant for the happiness of the people that were giving me a hard time, and sometimes I would get realizations about, maybe why they were doing it. Maybe they were picked on when they were kids, or things like that. But anyway, sometimes I would start to feel compassion for these people, and it's hard to be afraid and compassionate at the same time. But can't you just pray for their happiness? I mean, did you have to, for example, send those guys to jail? Yes, you do have to take action. Nothing's going to change unless you do. You have to face up to your own weaknesses, and you have to change it using prayer as your foundation. You said that this is like a common phenomenon? Yep. I mean, it's not always related to work. I mean, sometimes when people start their practice, all of a sudden they'll start having problems with their spouse, or sometimes a health issue will pop up out of the blue. Jeez, it almost sounds a little scary. Nobody wants problems. Well, I mean, I can see why you could see it that way, but just think of your Buddhist practice as a catalyst for change. And you're not going to stir up anything in your life that wasn't already in there to begin. All right, well, I'm going to keep chanting and see where it takes me. Are you about ready to order? Yep. Oh, there's our waitress.
Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho